It was a warm Sunday evening in the quiet suburbs of Maple Ridge. The Henderson family, Mark, his wife Linda, and their two kids, Ethan and Grace, had just finished dinner. Neighbors said they heard laughter coming from their backyard. The sound of clinking glasses, a dog barking, the smell of grilled steak drifting over the fences. It was ordinary, familiar, but by the next morning, the Hendersons were gone. Their home stood silent, the dinner table still set, the back door slightly ajar, and what looked like just another peaceful weekend meal would soon unravel into one of the most disturbing cases a town had ever seen. When Linda's sister couldn't reach her Monday morning, she drove over to check on them. She knocked, called out, even peered through the kitchen window. Everything looked untouched. Inside, the sink was full of dishes, the lights were off, and the family car was still in the driveway. Nothing was stolen. No signs of struggle. No goodbye notes. It was as if the Hendersons had simply vanished. Police were called, and within hours, the Henderson home became a crime scene. Detectives found uneaten food still on plates, a bottle of wine half full, and 4 chairs pulled neatly around the dining table. It looked like they'd been interrupted. Suddenly, quietly, completely. But the strangest clue came from a neighbor across the street. Arthur Miller, a retired mechanic who lived alone. He told police he'd seen the Hendersons laughing and grilling around 6:30 p.m. Nothing strange, just a happy family. But later, around 10 that night, he saw someone still moving in their backyard. He assumed it was Mark cleaning up. Except, the Hendersons were already gone by then. Detectives started digging deeper into the family's lives. No debts, no enemies, no criminal ties. They weren't the kind of people to disappear. But something about Arthur, the friendly neighbor who always waved, always helped with car repairs, didn't sit right with the investigators. When officers canvassed the neighborhood, one woman mentioned something odd. She said that around 11 p.m., she'd noticed a strange smell drifting from Arthur's backyard. Something acrid, chemical, like burnt plastic. Another neighbor recalled hearing the hum of a grill long after midnight. At first, no one thought much of it. Arthur was known for late-night barbecues. But when detectives questioned him again, they noticed his backyard grill was freshly scrubbed, spotless. Too spotless. They asked if he'd been grilling that night. Arthur chuckled nervously and said yes. He'd cooked some ribs, but when they checked his trash bins, there were no food wrappers, no bones, nothing, just melted ash and a strong odor of gasoline. That's when detectives requested a forensic team, and what they found would haunt them forever. Inside the grill's drain tray, crime scene techs found tiny bone fragments, far too small to be animal. Further tests confirmed what everyone feared. They were human remains. At that moment, Arthur Miller's backyard became the focal point of one of the darkest investigations in state history. Detectives searched his home. In the basement, they found a collection of tools, saws, gloves, plastic tarps, all meticulously clean but showing traces of blood under UV light. DNA results confirmed it belonged to Mark and Linda Henderson. Arthur was arrested on the spot, but even behind bars, he refused to speak. He smiled through every interrogation, giving vague answers, pretending confusion. When asked why, he simply said, "I helped them. They wanted to disappear." But the truth, uncovered through weeks of investigation, was far from that. Arthur had become obsessed with the Henderson family. He'd told co-workers they were the perfect neighbors, even referring to them as his family. He'd watched them for months, through windows, cameras, and from his porch across the street. The night of their disappearance, he'd invited Mark over to check out his new grill. Mark agreed, not realizing his entire family would soon follow one by one. To see what was keeping him so long. No one knows exactly what happened inside that house. But forensic evidence suggested that Arthur drugged them to the wine he offered, then carried out something so horrific that even seasoned investigators refused to describe it publicly. The final act, the burning, was his attempt to erase them completely. Only, he hadn't realized that even the smallest traces of bone could tell a story. When police presented the evidence, Arthur finally spoke. He said he wanted to keep them together forever. He viewed the Hendersons as his perfect family. In his delusion, he believed he was preserving them, not destroying them. Arthur Miller was convicted of 4 counts of first-degree murder and sentenced to life without parole. But even with his confession, one mystery remains unsolved. The children's remains were never fully recovered. Some believe Arthur scattered them in the woods nearby. Others think he buried them somewhere close, still watching from the window of the home he once called his own. Today, the Henderson home stands empty, The yard overgrown, the swing set still swaying on windy nights. Neighbors say they still smell faint traces of smoke whenever the wind shifts toward Arthur's old property. A reminder of what happens when envy festers into obsession, and how evil can hide behind a most familiar face. If this story sent chills down your spine, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another true crime story that peels back the darkness hiding behind ordinary lives. Because sometimes the scariest monsters don't come from strangers. They live right next door,